Welcome to this midweek devotion, y'all. And this week I'm interviewing Steve, who's the project manager for the building, and he constantly pours in tremendous hours tiling and doing all little jobs here at the church house. But it's going to be awesome to sit and chat with him. So I guess to kick things off, I just want to ask Steve to tell us a bit more about himself. So I'm going to hand it over to him, and yeah, he can tell us a bit more about himself. So take it away.
Okay. For those of you, some of you do know me, they've known me for quite a long time. A lot of you don't know, but I'll try to give you a brief history of myself. Like Matt, I'm an immigrant. Came to Australia with my family when I was 14. Born and raised in the United States. My mother's Australian, my father's English, so we're a mixed up family. We're a very mixed up family. But family moved back to Australia in 1969. I went to a Baptist church in the United States, so baptised a Baptist, which that's important to me. It was a traditional Baptist church. So came to Australia, family, I was the only member of the family that kept going to church, mainly because I was a teenager and that's a great place to meet chicks.
Hey, don't worry, it's why lots of people go to youth group, I think. Just pick up girls or pick up boys.
Anyway, I met Edwina, not through the church, moved to Queensland to get married, and we've been in Queensland ever since. We were Uniting Church when we lived in Brisbane. We were Presbyterian when we came to Toowoomba, because that was the church that we were attending, and then we changed to Uniting because it was closer to home. And then we moved out to Highfields here, when was that? In the late 70s, I think. So it's a long time ago. But we had our first child, Lorinda, and we were struggling to get to church on a Sunday with a child in a stroller and all the things, trying to get the kids out of the house and whatever else. And we thought, we need to find a church here in Highfields, and Edwina said, where Lorinda goes to kindergarten, that's a church. And she said, but it's a Baptist church. I said, and? And she goes, that's right, you're a Baptist. So we started going to the Baptist church, and we were there for 20 odd years. Before venturing across to Church of Christ. And here we are. That's sort of my background in the throes of that. Going backwards, I've been retired now for just over 4 years. Prior to that, owned my own business. Businesses.
Just doing some advertising, I see.
I don't own anymore. But we did that for 20 odd years. Prior to that, I was in the abattoir in the meat game for 13 years, and prior to that, a short stint in real estate. Before that, there was banking, which was my first career. So,
man,
I've done a few things, a few different things.
Yeah.
But my business background is business management. But my hobby, and with Edwina's help, has been renovating, doing renovation projects. This has got to be the biggest one.
Yeah. No, well, you've been doing awesome with this one, and if you don't know Steve, he's an amazing person. I've loved getting to catch up with him and just hear some of the stories from his life and some of the different things that he's done, and he's just got an amazing heart. But I guess I kind of want to. I've been wondering what's your why behind some of the stuff that you do for the church or for people, or even it was 4 years ago, roughly, when you said, "All right, I'll help out with the church house," and you've been like leading the charge with that. So what's the why behind all of that drives you?
The driving force is, I've got to say the driving force now is God. I had this, much of my adult life I had a problem with everyone around me seemed to have a purpose. This was God's purpose for me. This is God's purpose for me. And I just had this, I didn't know. I asked and I never got a response as to, what do you want me to do, God? And I thought, oh. So I consoled myself with saying, okay, his purpose for me must be just to bring my children up in a godly way, and maybe he's got some special plan for them.
Yeah.
And I became very involved in leadership at the Baptist church, and that got very, very heavy load.
Yeah.
Combining that with owning your own business, trying to run a business, and on Sundays you're a church deacon and all that entails. And I found, and this is the reason why we left the Baptist church and came to the Church of Christ, is I don't like using the word escape, but I was trying to get away from the workload that entailed. I just wanted to go to church and be fed, and rather than being the one doing the feeding. You run a bit dry after a while. So I came here, and 4 years ago, as I said, retired, and sold the business and retired, and always intended to take time off just to do whatever I felt like doing, just to get over owning a business. And when I finally relaxed, okay, God, what have you got for me now? And there's only been 2 occasions in my life when I can remember God actually speaking to me. And that was one of them, because he shot back an instant response, and it was just, find out what's happening to my house. And of course, I knew nothing about this building. We'd only just become members of the Church of Christ, and I said, find out what's happening in my house. What's that mean? But I found out. And this is it.
Yeah, got thrown in the deep end a bit.
Thrown in the deep end. And it was just it became a case of God has given me skills, allowed me to obtain skills throughout my life, and they all culminate here.
Yeah.
This is the place where I've been able to use all the skills that I've acquired to complete a job for him.
Yeah.
So that's it. So he's the driving force.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, Steve, that's a great answer. I love it. And I love your heart that's constantly, looking out for what God kind of wants you to do next. And I know you've already chatted to me kind of that this is getting close to the end. You're starting to...
This will be a bit like retirement again, though. Let me have a break for a while.
So hopefully when you ask God, he doesn't shoot back straight with the next thing. You get a couple years to...
Give me a few months off.
Yes. But I know that's something that's already on your mind, is looking at what's next.
It is, because there's still a lot to do here, but it's drawing to a close. I look back and, I remember these walls. This was the start. This room was the starting point.
Yeah.
This is where we started the whole journey, and now it's a room that's getting used, and it's got air conditioning, it's got lights, so this is the one part of the building that is finished. But as you and I were discussing just earlier on, we're getting to that point where the next bit will be upstairs. Which is nearly ready. So.
And it's just all starting to come. So you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Tunnel's still a bit of distance to go.
We haven't finished the tunnel yet.
But you can see a light in the distance.
Yeah, the light is there.
Yeah. No, well, I guess, it kind of leads into the next question I was going to ask. With our vision, we kind of looked at the next step God has for us as a church. And I guess I'm just wondering, what do you feel is the next step God might be having for you, I guess, in your own journey, or you and Edwina's own journey. And even if it's, I think it'd be a perfect gangster to say, God wants me to have a break for
Look,
3 years or whatever
I
it is.
honestly don't know because, as I said before, I've struggled to find my purpose.
Mm.
There are many times where I thought I knew what it was, and things led me away from it. And it's not that. And so yeah, it'll be a. My focus is this. When this is finished and my mind is clear, I'm sure God will direct me where He wants me to go then. Hopefully, it's still in my fields.
No, I hope so too. No, that's awesome. Well, I love your heart and just the way you do things. I just find it amazing. And don't worry, when you're done here, I'll call you when I break stuff here and be like, Steve, I need help. Something's not working anymore.
I've had people ask me, oh, well, what are you going to do when you finish this one? I don't know, do it again.
Well, don't you what? Isn't it your daughter April? You're still renovating that house. Don't you have some jobs to do there?
I've got a kitchen and bathroom to do there, yes.
Oh, man.
And it's got a list of chores that I haven't done for the last 2.5 years. So.
Oh, it's just piling up for you. Oh, man. Well, I guess I really want to just give a moment at the end just for you to, I guess, kind of take us out of this interview and really share anything that you want. So it's kind of open mic, I guess, for you at the moment, and just sharing what do you want to share to the church and this midweek devotion to kind of wrap everything up and for us to go out on. So I'll hand it over to you and you can take us away.
I don't really know where to go from there, but I do know what just came to my heart as you said that, and that is to everyone who's listening that don't be disheartened if you don't know God's purpose for you, because either you're not ready for it or He's not ready for it, but when it's time, you'll know. You'll know.
No, that's awesome.
And it's a great ride. So, tiring sometimes, but it's a great ride. Thanks, man.
Nah, thank you.